Of 9/11 victims are now one step closer to being able to sue Saudi Arabia for any role it may have played in the attacks. The Senate passing a bill yesterday that will allow them, American citizens, to take the Saudi government to court. Judge Napolitano, Fox News senior judicial analyst, and good day to you.
Morning, Bill.
Senate said what?
In 1976, the federal government and the Congress enacted a statute. President Ford signed it into existence that prohibited Americans from suing any foreign government in an American court. Prevented, called sovereign immunity. Since then, there have been two legislative exceptions to that, Iran and Syria. So an American injured in Iran or anywhere by the Iranian government can sue the Iranian government in an American federal court. Same thing with Syria. The legislation passed in the Senate yesterday, sponsored by two very opposite people, Senator John Cornyn of Texas, Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, would create a third exception, Saudi Arabia. Not for all purposes, just for 9/11.
What does that tell you that Cornyn and Schumer are together on this?
They have reason to believe that the 28 pages that President George W. Bush classified from the 9/11 Commission report will demonstrate that high-ranking Saudi officials either used levers of government or their own finances to aid, assist, and maybe even pay for the 9/11 attacks, and that the survivors of the 3,000 people murdered in 9/11 have a moral opportunity to go after the people that paid for it.
Okay, now back up just a little bit. Senate passes it. What does the House do?
Up to Paul Ryan. If Speaker Ryan brings this to the floor, it'll pass overwhelmingly.
Wow. Okay,
so overwhelmingly, Chuck Schumer predicts that both houses will override a threatened veto.
Holy cow, because that's the White House has said.
Yes.
They will veto this measure if it gets to the desk.
Well, Josh Earnest hasn't exactly said that, but he's used words to that effect. And Chuck Schumer is not just the senior Democratic senator from New York. He is about to become, when Harry Reid retires this December, the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Whether minority or majority remains to be seen.
What is the White House's position on this? What is their concern or their fear?
The White House concern, shared by Senator Lindsey Graham and Senator John McCain, is that if we open up American federal courts to sue Saudi officials here, that American officials will find themselves being sued in Saudi courts for retaliation.
Legally, do you buy that argument?
I don't, because when we opened up American courts to sue Iranian officials and Syrian officials, there was not that reciprocal lawsuit that the president is fearing. I don't see it happening.
Statement from the relatives, 9/11 victims. Here it is on screen, quoting now. This legislation reaffirms the common sense principle that no person, entity, or government enjoys blanket immunity from legal responsibility from participation in a terrorist attack that takes lives or causes injury inside the United States of America.
I think it goes I fully agree with that. And I think it goes one step beyond. The American public is entitled to know once and for all, what did the Saudis know and when did they know it? Why are we protecting them from the revelation of their potential involvement, their likely involvement in 9/11?
That's an argument to release the 28 pages.
Absolutely.
Get it out there.
Absolutely.
You support that?
I do. And interestingly, the president sounds like he's going to release the 28 pages. That's going to make it more difficult for him to for the Congress to sustain his veto, because if those pages say what we think they say, they're incendiary.
Wow. You might be right about that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Napolitano
Pleasure.
here. Thanks.
So it's another win for the Vermont